Valve overcurrent. To test all of the electrical components of your irrigation system out in the field, the WeatherTrack uses the WeatherTrack valve test. This test will be run every day at the Program A start time, as well as at the beginning of a manual irrigation session. It can also be initiated from the manual test menu at the controller. And what the valve test is doing is sending an electrical signal down the line and testing how much current it takes to make the plunger in the solenoid pop or raise to open up the valve. As the valve test runs, it measures every station usage in milliamps, and this current reading is going to be different for every valve and every solenoid in the market. But typically, a new valve solenoid will take between 200 and 500 milliamps to activate and start the irrigation process. If you're getting a valve overcurrent alert, that means when the valve test was run, you had a station that required more than 1,000 milliamps or a full amp to make that solenoid pop. On existing WeatherTrack systems, the most common reason for this to happen is bad electrical connections on the solenoid wires in the valve box. But as valves age, it takes more and more electricity to make that solenoid pop, so it can be an indication that your solenoids are getting old and the spring has become rusty, or there's dirt in the plunger chamber that's causing the solenoid to need more electricity to pop and do what it does. If this is a new alert, 9 times out of 10, the connections or the solenoid is the root cause. But it can be a problem with the valve wire if there's copper on the wire that's exposed to moisture. And on newer WeatherTrack installations, it's also very common for a valve overcurrent to be prompted when a station is trying to push 2 solenoids at once, because both of those solenoids are measured on the circuit, pushing the current draw up over the 1,000 milliamp limit. To begin the process of troubleshooting an overcurrent alert, first, make sure you're only trying to operate one solenoid on a circuit at a time. And if you have multiple stations running on one wire, try and break those up, either by repairing and using existing valve wires, or using an add-a-zone device to split those valves up. If you're already running only a single valve, start by replacing your connections in the valve box, then manually running the valve test to verify your repair. If that doesn't do it, replace the entire solenoid. Again, most of the time, this will solve your problem. But if it doesn't, that's when it's going to take advanced wire tracing and troubleshooting to find out where the short is happening in the wire.